The Niger Delta Development Forum (NDDF) is a forum that serves as a catalytic information sharing and collaboration opportunity for government, private sector, and civil society organizations. The NDDF also provides a platform for partners to collectively pursue advancement and practices to advance the Niger Delta region.
NDDF itself has evolved over time. It's meant to be the flagship program of PAIN and its partners for advocating about key issues, key topics in the region.
It's been going on for over 7 years, and what we try to do is to just take on key topical issues and then have actors within the region take on some of the outcomes of those issues.
The concept of the NDDF is a very important concept, and it is important to nourish it by not only the state governments but all those who are in the Niger Delta, because to have a platform for dialogue and conversation and advocacy about development of our people, you can't have anything better than that.
The 2018 Niger Delta Development Forum (NDDF) held in Benin and Port Harcourt on the 27th and 29th of November respectively. This year, the focus was on planning and developing a long-term plan for the states in the region.
As it was in 2017, when the theme was on development planning, this year's focus also will be on development planning because of the importance of planning in catalyzing sustainable development in our region. So that's why we're revisiting it, and the whole idea is that this year's forum will build on the achievements of last year's forum so as to consolidate some of the results, because as we look into the future, there are some things, challenges that are facing us as a people that we need to develop plans to be able to address.
What is really innovative and different about this year's theme is really encouraging states or recommending to states that long-term effective planning is the best way to go about it. There's no doubt that the Niger Delta has a number of different regional plans, but no state-specific plans, especially the ones that are currently in place, don't want to feed into the regional plans as they're supposed to.
A key component of the forum this year were plenary sessions. The sessions featured panelists from the developmental sector, sister states like Lagos already implementing their long-term plan, and Cross River who already developed their plan.
Basically, if you notice on the panel, we had Cross River State and Lagos State and the private sector. So the first issue is we already have appreciated the fact that we need to have a development plan. And the states, like you see today, they are pitching for some kind of support to develop their various development plans. So for those states that are pitching, what are those issues they should be looking at? So what we did today was to say, okay, Lagos State, what is your experience with development planning?
We were actually doing medium-term plans to move the state forward then. However, we appreciated in the course of the planning reform that there is need for us to look further than where we were looking. Where do we think, or where do we understand Lagos State should be in the next 15 years?
Personally, I believe in peer learning. Especially once somebody has done something, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You only leverage on that experience. And my take from that is that we really need to talk to them to tell us how they were able to do it. If, for instance, my state is able to do even 30% of what they are doing, we'll be better off.
The belief when we were starting was actually something we'll conclude in 2010. However, it took us over 2 years. We actually completed it in 2012.
I think we will actually want to move to Cross River State, meet with the officers that have been part of this program from the beginning, learn from their experiences how they've been able to build up to this extent. Learning is a continuous thing. We would want to learn from them how they got there, and hopefully we will start working more to get to that place.
GDS is a new plan. It hasn't started operating yet, but you have experience in the formulation of that development plan. Can you share that with us, please?
The overall overarching objective of the GDS is ensuring inclusiveness in a form and manner that no one is left behind.
The fact that you're seeing what your peer is doing is an inspiration in itself. The next level is if that inspiration also catches up on you, if it is contagious enough. I wish it was like Apollo, this red eyes, by force, you get to like participate and then get to do this thing, but it doesn't work that way. Everything starts from this level, which is the peer-to-peer discussion, and then we can take it on from there to see if anyone can be inspired enough to buy into this process.
The Niger Delta was divided into two regions. Western Niger Delta, which had Ondo, Edo, Delta and Bayelsa, and Eastern Niger Delta, which had Imo, Abia, Rivers and Akwa Ibom.
The ninth one, of course, for obvious reasons, is Cross River State. They already have a growth and development strategy, a solid plan that we and other partners worked with them to produce. That's been wrapped up. They're just ready to launch it now and finalize legislation to back it up. And rather than having a one-day session and listening to about 8 states trying to present and things become unwieldy, we broke them into 2 sessions so that we can listen to people in depth.
Smaller meetings, impactful meetings, I think it's a very good approach. Now we have states pitching and they know like, oh, I'm pitching with my next door neighbor and I can relate to what they do. So that's one also help in the right direction.
The natural thing to have done was to support all the 8 states, having supported Cross River State in developing a long-term development strategy, but the resources are quite limited. So we had to think of an innovative approach to select states, 2 states that want to support in a very objective and fair manner.
The format for pitching was competitive as a prize of technical support by PIN and its partners was placed on the table.
We have an average cocoa production worth about 240,000 metric tons per annum, and other products like timber. A lot of natural endowment that is supposed to take the state to a level that will be enviable.
We want to make Edo State part of the top 3 mining destinations in Nigeria. Then increased number of tourists visit to the state.
We believe as a state that viable partnership can be created between Delta State and PIN based upon mutual objectives. To do what? To reduce poverty, to improve the standard of living of our people, and to create good governance, achieving the sustainable development goals.
Bayelsa has a potential economic growth due to the presence of large deposits of crude oil and natural gas. This ought to be an avenue for socio-economic development and boom and rapid development in the state.
The IMO we want, Agenda 2040. Now, what do we want to achieve? We want to achieve wealth creation through massive agribusiness development.
The state currently has in place the Akwa Ibom State Rural Master Plan, which aims at further driving socio-economic development at the grassroots level.
So we need to diversify the state economy. That is a problem that we have identified, and how we intend to do that is to look into agriculture and small and medium scale enterprises.
A panel of judges was set up to score the presentations after cross-examining the states.
So what exactly are you doing in terms of your IGR to boost IGR?
As of half year 2017, we had about 7 billion at this stage.
I don't know what you're doing to boost your tourism sector as a way of increasing your internally generated revenue, specifically leveraging the talents that you have within the entertainment sector.
What if you don't win these grants? Let's say God forbid. God forbid. Yeah. What if you don't win these grants? How do you plan to fund this initiative?
What were the judges looking out for?
We're a bit careful because we had to put it at the front of our minds that the people making these presentations are technical people, and that you cannot judge what the politicians do and use that to determine how well their presentation and proposals have gone. So we're very strict to focus on just what they were presenting.
This is a 30-year plan, but I didn't see how what you were going to do in the first 5 years, in the next 10 years, because it does seem like a lot of stuff, and if you don't prioritize, nothing might end up being done.
To recommend that a lot of states pay attention to research and development. A lot of good researchers are in our academic institutions, both at PhD level, generally postgraduate level, undergraduate level. They are doing very good work.
Your natural resources. What natural resources do you have? In what quantities? What is the economic value of the natural resources you have that you can exploit?
M&E is something we need to give very good consideration to. As we plan, we implement, we need to monitor and evaluate what we are doing.
In position number 4 is Bayelsa.
Let's give a round of applause.
Number 3 is Delta.
Oh, wow.
Numbers 1 and 2 were very, very close. There were only 2 points between them. Number 2 is Ondo State, and the winner is Edo State.
Let's give Edo State a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause.
And in third position is Imo.
Oh, wow.
And in second place is Akwa Ibom.
Hey. God's own state.
Which means that our winner is Abia.
The technical partners of NDDF 2018, Dr. Dara, Tunji, Kingsley, Fidelis, can you please take the stage? Tunde, can you please take the stage? Yes.
Just to say that I think that this year's NDDF was so exciting. I think that the looks on people, the state's faces when they won was absolutely electric. When people won, they jumped up and down. They were so excited. People ran up and were high-fiving, and that type of enthusiasm towards something like a strategic objective, which is long-term planning, you can't replicate that.
For the participating states, developing a long-term plan is a step in the right direction. To bring these collector state roadmaps to life, it is important that they continue to be framed by strategic approaches and solutions tailored to local circumstances. No doubt, the NDDF 2018 has left in its wake a solid foundation for future development in the Niger Delta region.